Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your spiritual revolution guidance reading for the month of Leo. Okay, so Leo season runs from July 22nd until August 22nd, and there is a lot happening. Okay, so right out the gate, the second day of Leo season on July 23rd, we see Mercury station direct. So for the past 3 weeks, Mercury has been in retrograde and asking us to pause a little bit and to slow down. And with the Cancer new moon at the end of Cancer season, I was really feeling that. I don't know about you, but I think it was like the eye of the storm, because moving into Leo season, things are about to get fiery and action packed once again. So Mercury is saying, okay, retrograde is over. It's time to get things done again, you guys. Like the time to reflect is over. However, we need to remember that Pluto and Neptune are still in retrograde, and in Leo season, Saturn and Chiron will both be stationing retrograde. And so during the summer, we're going to have 4 planets or 4 luminaries that are retrograde. So it's still a time to reflect and still a time to review everything that has been happening to us this year. Because let's be honest, 2026 has been a ride. There has been a lot going on, and we are still processing and integrating it. So, feel free to take that time. However, we have the full moon on July 29th, the full moon in Aquarius. And then on August 12th, we have the new moon solar eclipse in Leo. And so not only are we moving into Leo season, we're also moving into eclipse season. And in between these moons, we have the Lionsgate portal, which of course is peaking on August 8th, 8/8. However, the Lionsgate is really running from July 26th, 28th until August 12th on that solar eclipse, okay? We also have 3 of the personal planets. So Venus, Mercury, and Mars are all shifting into new signs. So we're going to feel some fresh energy there. And finally, towards the end of Leo season on August 18th, the nodes are shifting into new signs. So for the past 18 months, the nodes have been in Pisces for the North Node and Virgo for the South Node. And now we're going to see them move into Aquarius for the North Node and Leo for the South Node. And so that is going to kind of shift the focus for the collective, for all of humanity. The North Node is our destiny, and the South Node is our karma. And we're meant to really balance both of these on this Aquarius-Leo axis. Okay, so we are connecting to your overarching energy for Leo season. Okay, so Gemini, let's see what the cards are saying. So first of all, the chakras that you're being called to connect to this month are your solar plexus and your heart. And these are both Leo-related chakras, so I love that. So with your solar plexus, it's responsibility, self-discipline, empowerment, reliability, and fulfillment. Okay, and then with your heart, it is love, kindness, benevolence, sharing, and receiving. So these feel like really balanced between, they both feel very empathetic to me. And responsibility and love, I think, kind of go together. And okay, you also have, for your overarching energy for Leo season, the sun in Cancer, resourcefulness, Jupiter in Leo, publicity, and the sun in Scorpio, endurance. Okay, so these 3 together, resourcefulness, publicity, and endurance, tell me that it's going to be a busy month for you. So resourcefulness, you are going to have to, I think, probably conserve your energy, conserve your time, conserve your money. That there's a lot of things that are going to be asking for your attention this month. And that falls in line with the publicity, right? Gemini, you do tend to be a social butterfly, and summer is the time of parties, of gatherings, of travel, and all of these things. And it feels like that you're going to be invited, or you'll need to show up in a lot of ways this month. And then finally, endurance. So not only do you need to preserve your resources or be really mindful of your resources, but make sure that you have the endurance, that you have the energy, because, you know, as you are out there surrounded by a lot of people, yes, it can be really energizing. However, it can also be taxing on your energy, and not only physically, but emotionally and mentally. Okay, so let's get into the details of your reading. Now, these spiritual revolution readings are for people who know that there is a spiritual war going on, and you're being called to be a part of the spiritual revolution. And what we do is we connect to your energy and see what kind of guidance and messages your higher self, your spirit guides, the spirit team want you to have for this month. Because there's a lot going on, and I think we all need a little guidance right now. So if you're being called to this reading, there's a message in here for you. And okay, so I'm using a new deck right now. This is the In Between Tarot, and so each card, the way I read it is it's current specific card, but also the next one in line in the tarot, because the tarot tells a story from card to card. And this deck is really a reminder that even though we're in the present moment, the next moment becomes the present moment, and the next step in our path becomes the current step. And so it's really about reading how this energy is going to flow and evolve. Okay, so moving into Leo season, what is your background energy? What is the energy that you are bringing into Leo season? And we have the Empress. And so the Empress flows into the Emperor. And this Empress energy is really like Emperor. This is really that polarity between the feminine and the masculine, and the highest expressions of both. So the Empress is very nurturing and takes care of the people around them, but also, is sure to take care of themselves first. Excuse me. So there may have been some energies that have been maybe expecting too much of you, or there's sometimes there's these people in our lives that show up, and they need a lot of support. They need a lot of emotional assistance. They need a lot, like, just someone to hold space for them. And it feels like you've been that person. You've been holding space for either a lot of people in your life or people that have taken up a lot. And while this is something that you can absolutely manage, you have to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. And the Emperor energy reminds us of that, right? Because sometimes as the Empress, and this is not gender specific, these are just, everyone has masculine and feminine energies inside of them. And so I'm going to say sometimes as the Empress, we can all give too much, right? Because we really want to take care of those around us. We have this desire to nurture, because we see what they need and have the capacity to do so. But the Emperor is a little bit more strategic, more logical, more disciplined in how they're going to serve others. I think the Emperor is servant leadership, but it is also leadership. So kind of lead by example. Like, I think the Empress energy maybe can be a little bit more like, here, you're hungry, well, let me do this for you. And the Emperor says, oh, you're hungry, let me show you what you can do. And so I think there has been some taxing energy on you, or energies, and you have been trying to find the balance between, well, how do I take care of myself while all these other people need so much, right? And it's hard to find that balance. So maybe you're feeling a little bit caught between um, serving others and serving yourself. And I think that that's why these messages of responsibility and love and resourcefulness and endurance are all coming up in your overarching energy. Okay, so this is the energy that you're meant to embody during Leo season, and it is the King of Swords. And the King of Swords blends back to the Page of Swords. And so the King of Swords is very similar, in my opinion, to the Emperor energy. But the King of Swords is tactical, strategic, intelligent, and but in a way where they also listen to their intuition and they understand that there's a need to balance the head and the heart, right? Your responsibility and your love, there's a need to balance that. And the King of Swords does not back down from a challenge. And so you're really being called to endure and to find the resources internally and externally that you need in order to stand up to the challenges that are being presented to you. And to lead by example. So I think like if there are people in your lives that are in your life that are struggling, that are asking for a lot of support, that the best way you can help them is to lead by example and to not necessarily save them, but to show them how they save themselves, if that makes sense. I hope that that makes sense. And then how this evolves in your life is that then your time and your energy is freed up so you can focus on the path that you want to take. Because what tends to happen in these situations where people are demanding so much of us is that we tend to put ourselves on the back burner, our passions, our goals, our projects, and all of these things. And perhaps that's what's happened to you, that there was a project or there was something that you wanted to really embark on for yourself, but you haven't had the time to do it because of all these external factors that have been taking your energy. And so this month you're really being asked to help others help themselves so you can focus on what's really important to you during this Leo season. Okay. And then the outcome we have here is the Four of Coins. And so the Four of Coins, so this is interesting because we've had the King of Swords, which is very like intellectual, mind driven, and then Pentacles or Coins, which feels like very root chakra. So it kind of feels like all of your chakras are in play during this reading. And so the Four of Coins is telling us that towards the end of Leo season, as you are really focusing on yourself and not stepping into the savior role so much, but more into a leadership role, that you're really able to find some inner security and stability and to build your foundation. So perhaps you've been feeling like, a little bit unsettled, or like when you don't have the full energy to devote to yourself and your passions and your projects, that can start to fray your nerves a little bit and like to weigh on you. And by doing this, then you're able to really find your foundation and your stability. And with the Four of Coins moving into the Five of Coins, there is this potential of falling into a lack mentality where you're like, okay, I have this foundation, but is it enough? What if something happens? I think especially if you're surrounded by people who don't have the resourcefulness that you have, that you are cultivating, And, you're hearing these messages of scarcity, you're hearing these worries, you're hearing these fears, that can really start playing in your head. And even though you are stable and you can always manifest what you need, because I believe that you do have this resourcefulness, which is something that you need to tap into this month and really trust and believe, that can start playing and weighing on your mind. And so I guess the lesson here, or the message, is to not allow yourself to fall into that trap, and to really show people that yes, the world is abundant, and you may be struggling, you may need support right now, but that's not always going to be the case, right? The world is constantly in a state of change and transformation, and knowing this, like having this awareness, means that you can keep these messages in mind and watch yourself as you may be falling into these thought patterns or these cycles, because of the energies that you're being surrounded by, or that are asking for your attention, right? Where attention goes, energy flows. So I think that that's kind of the final message there, but we'll get one more card. And what do you need to know, my lovely Gemini, for Leo season? Okay. Oh, this is exciting. And a little bit, well, maybe not out of left field. Okay, this is exciting. So you have the new moon in Libra. A new romantic cycle begins. Okay, so Gemini, this is exciting. A new romantic cycle begins. Perhaps this fits with this love card that came up as this overarching energy for the month of Leo. And perhaps as you go through this publicity and all of these events and social gatherings and things like that, something is going to come into play for you. So a new romantic cycle begins. And Libra energy is always about the self and the other, and really balancing that. So perhaps as you allow yourself to focus on you and your projects and the things that are really important to you, that is going to open up energetically for this new energy to come in. And that's really exciting. So I'm going to leave it at that. We'll see what comes out of it. And do let me know if anything in this reading resonated for you. Drop it in the comments below. Like the video, share, subscribe. That helps the channel. And as I mentioned, this is a general reading. And if you want to go deeper in your personal energy for Leo season, I'm going to put the link in the comments. You can book with me. And I do personal readings as well, where we go into your astrology, we'll look at your chart, and we'll pull some cards as well. Thank you so much for being here with me. Have a beautiful Leo season, and I will see you in the next one.